Hey, this is Draffet, this is Draffet Store, and this week we're doing morality. I had a couple of test videos. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I couldn't do it. But and then I had another video, and unfortunately, my wife and my daughter were too loud in the background, and I kept looking off to see what they were doing, so it was kind of screwing up my the way the video was going. But like I said, I'm doing this one on morality. This is exactly, I'm going to give it the Wikipedia definition, then I'll go into my what I think. Morality is differentiation of intentions, decisions, and actions between those that are good or right and those that are bad or wrong. Now, air quotations, good, bad. The philosophical or the philosophy of morality is ethics. A moral code is a system of morality according to a particular philosophy, religion, culture, etc. And a moral is any one practice or teaching within a moral code. Morality may also be specifically synonymous with goodness, righteousness, and immorality is the opposition to morality, i.e., opposition to which is good or right. And amorality is various definitions as an unawareness or of indifference toward or disbelief in any set of moral standards or principles. And an example of the moral code is the golden rule that states one should treat others as one would like others to treat oneself. Now, I've heard, and I want to take these off real quick. I've heard in the news media and on television, news media, whether it's on television or on the radio, about talking about morality. Here's the thing: morality is not synonymous. I don't care what anybody says or what this definition says. Is not synonymous with any religious aspect, because I have seen and heard of agnostics who do not have a religious underpinning to them and been more moral than some Christians and Catholics. I've seen more Catholics preach and not back their words up whatsoever with action, or if they do it for about 5 minutes and then they run the other way and ask, why this or that, the other thing. And yet I've seen I've seen people who are not religious whatsoever have more moral values than, whatever. And a prime example, and I'm going to say this, and I know it'll piss a bunch of people off, is the televangelists. They get on TV and they preach morals and they preach this and they preach that. Okay? Now, here's the thing. When you're preaching one thing and you got a house the size of a trailer park, or, a house, well, we'll put it this way. When you have a house, it's on the property the size of a trailer park, and your house is the size of half of, say, a shopping mall, like here where there'd be Lakeside or Oakland Mall, or even the size of Oakland Mall, and you're preaching about family values and giving to charity, and you don't do that yourself because all your money's tied into this house that's got 50 bedrooms, 2 pools, 2.5 basements with a swimming pool in half one and half in the other, and a tennis court in the other, with property for your whatever. And you go on TV every Sunday and you're preaching moral values and everything, and a billionaire like Bill Gates, where his business practices might be a little bit immoral, goes and gives up his rights to his company to give to charity and charitable funds, and will go to himself down to McDonald's to get food for his family, while, you know, this televangelist sends his hired help to go do it. You know, now there's something fucking wrong right there. I'm sorry I'm using the F word, but it's, you know, it's totally wrong. I mean, don't even get me started on Washington, because Washington is is just one of those things that you could go in there and beat this politicians with a or no, I want to say a wet noodle, but with a stick, and you still wouldn't get a moral bone out of half of them. But I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, I myself have a different moral fiber than most of the people I know and most of the people I work with. Okay, I think prostitution should be legal because it's a consensual act, just like, you know, drug use. It should be. It's a consensual act between two consenting adults. The only time it should be illegal is when it's somebody under the age of consent, which would be 18, depending on what it is here in the United States. So taking your 17-year-old son to whorehouse, you know, not moral. Taking your 18-year-old son is consensual. Fine. Okay. Now, religious people would have a problem with that, because they, whatever. I look at it like this: the woman wants to sell their body, or the man, you know, being just in this world and equal. If the woman or man decides that they want to prostitute themselves out for money, it is up to them to decide. Now, the reason why I'm stating this is because the fact that you can go into any bar and pick up strange for free without knowing what you're getting. With at least a hooker, or, you know, male hooker, or a gigolo, and a female hooker, or a prostitute, you know what you're getting. So, you know, the whole moral standard about, well, I never pay for it, you know, you're going to pay for it in the long run if you go to the bar and get, you know, the wrong one. So why not, you know, pay for it up front and know what the hell you're getting? Another, you know, a lot of people put their dog down, or their cat down, or their, you know, whatever. And with the emotional value the families put on their pets nowadays, to where they'll pay $500, you know, $5,000 to get their cat's life extended for 5 years, which I think is moronic. Not, you know, it's not a moral thing; it's a moronic thing. Because, you know, I've had plenty of animals. If they suffer, I have no problem putting them down. Now, with that conversely, if I had a family member, we'll use my father, who was suffering from a terminal illness, and no, my father is not, as far as I know. But if my father was suffering from terminal illness, and doctors came up to me, well, you know, we might have a cure within a day or so, I would tell the doc, you know, what's his chances of living? And if they gave me the percentages, I'd say cut the line. Simple as that. Because I'm not a selfish human. As much as people I know think I'm a selfish human being, when it comes to certain things, I am not a selfish human being. It is more selfish to keep a human being, and immoral to keep, in my viewpoint, to keep a human being around for my emotional reasons, because I need them in my life, than it would be for me to, you know, it's just wrong, plain and simple. I'm sorry, because it puts too much of a too much stress on your life. You have to sit there and worry about the doctors. You have to sit there and worry about how you're feeling. You know, if they're going to come up with a cure for it. And if they don't come up with a cure for it, and the person, you know, gets worse and worse and worse, and they tell you, well, you can put them in a home, you're just wasting more money to feed an animal, feed a monster that doesn't deserve to be fed. And I'm not talking about the patient. I'm talking about the medical community, and, you know, the supposed health community. So, like I said, for me, it's immoral to keep somebody alive that is I see it hurting me more that they're alive and they're in pain. Just cut the string. Cut the string. Simple as that. You know, it's I mean, I can go on, all the different, uh, things, and I do believe this one should treat others as one would like to be treated, but in reality, it's not always, doesn't always work that way. You can treat everybody like you want yourself to be treated, and people still treat you like shit. Um, you know, it's it ends up being, in a nutshell, as this: the individual, no matter who it is, needs to think what's best for them and their family first over what is best for society, because society sometimes doesn't know what's best for it. Whether it's a moral issue, uh, or a right and wrong issue, just plain out right and wrong issue. So, in the case of Wikipedia's definition and everything else, I will put a link to this when I put it up, so people can see the different things, and I can probably find about 4 or 5 other things. But in a nutshell, you have to define your sense of morals for yourself, not how other people want you to, because other people aren't always right. They want to believe that they're right. They want to believe that the religious beliefs lead them to a right. And, well, as we're finding out with everything that's going on with Middle East, people really don't know what's morally right and what's morally wrong. I wish we did. I mean, I honestly wish we did. But this is draffet, and next week I'm just going to play it by ear. So, like I said, just draft store, have fun.